We try to do interviews for SCORE every week at this time, and today I have the pleasure of introducing you to the email queen. So, Evie, why don't you tell them about yourself and your business and how long you've been teaching a workshop for SCORE?
Well, good afternoon, everyone, all our viewers. Thank you for watching. As she said, my name is Evie Hernandez, and in 2015, I was crowned the email marketing queen because I used to do all these presentations for an email marketing vendor and was a partner of SCORE, and so I was named the email marketing queen. So it is my pleasure to be a SCORE presenter now, going on 4 years. So I am delighted to be part of the amazing group of SCORE counselors such as yourself.
Yes.
And the woman behind the camera, too.
Yes, yes, our producer is Patricia Maldonado. And so we're going to talk about SCORE, and we're going to try and give as many helpful tips as possible.
Absolutely.
So let's just start out with why people should be using an email marketing campaign as part of their marketing plan.
Absolutely. So you mentioned the marketing plan, which is interesting, Nancy. I always tell people that the first thing that we need to do as small business owners is start with strategic marketing plan.
Definitely.
I know you tell them the same thing.
Same thing.
Because you need to develop a strategy before you get into the tactics. So what do I mean by that? And by the way, I always tell people S before T, strategy before tactics, so they remember. Because as small business owners that we are, we'll often hear, oh, you should try this or you should try that. And we're just trying things without really having any type of strategy, plan, goals. So
no, and that's what keeps them up in the middle of the night, because then all of a sudden they go, oh, I should have tried Pinterest. That's why I'm not getting business. And so they're all over the board. They're not analyzing what the results are and that sort of thing, which you can do with email.
Absolutely. So although I am known as the email marketing queen in many, many, many places, I always tell people, think of it as marketing is marketing and marketing as a whole. So before you start any marketing campaign, any marketing tactic, think about what's the strategy. And in the strategy, you should say, okay, what is it that I want to accomplish? What are my goals? What is it exactly? And who is it that I'm targeting? And where are those people that I want to target? That's the first thing, whether it's email or whatever. But with email specifically, if you want to increase the amount of click-through, the amount of open rate, if you have a goal as to who you're trying to reach, how you're trying to reach them, what message or value, then you're going to have greater results. So first the strategy, then you get into what is now the tactic. And once you're into tactic, you still have to say, well, I decided to go with email marketing. What's the strategy behind it?
Right. So the first part of it would be building their list. Okay, how do you recommend they build their list?
Well, I'm going to give you something that is much more than just our tagline. At Zoom In, that's the name of my company, we have a tagline that says attract, capture, retain. And it's more than just a tagline. It's actually what we call the inbound marketing strategy. And we use it throughout anything that we do as far as strategic marketing is concerned. With email, it's no different. So the first thing is attract. How do you want to attract? What do you have that is attractive? And one of the strategies that I like to share for small business owners, which is very cost effective, is leveraging email with social media. So for example, I am mostly a B2B, meaning business to business. A lot of our viewers may be business to business too, and they may say, yeah, I'm going for businesses and I want to use social media, and where should I focus? So for example, the strategy would be for us at Zoom In, I'm interested, let's say I say people that are also B2B, CPAs for example, let's just say, where would I find CPAs? That's part of my plan. Maybe they're in LinkedIn more so than in Facebook.
Right.
So then I start putting information, post articles on Facebook that are attractive, and maybe I could put my blog, not the whole blog, maybe a little teaser, and maybe put a link and have them either go to my website, or maybe I say, listen, this is a whole article of a whole series. If you want the whole series, sign up. Or go to my website and sign up there. And that's a way that I can now start generating emails. So then,
but I don't think most people understand, because I didn't realize this until I took the LinkedIn class for the SCORE volunteer. But you can get the email for anybody that you're connected with on LinkedIn. So if you have thousands of people that you're connected with on LinkedIn, and they're all small business owners, you can download the email address from there.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that because actually the thing about it is, Nancy, that we teach two ways because I always speak in analogies of two. And when I say A with inbound as far as organic, how you attract is by putting good value information. And number two is prospecting. So yes, you're absolutely right. You can actually download from LinkedIn, and actually there is a way of doing it also on Facebook, believe it or not. So you download from LinkedIn all your emails, but then you have to have a strategy. You can't just, and I don't like the word email blast, it's so negative. So I don't like to just blast people and send everybody. You have to segment people. You have to have, I like to do like an autoresponder series to see where people are and also to automate because nowadays we're all so busy. So you can do a drip email marketing campaign, for example, with LinkedIn, once you download it, and slowly in 5 to 7 email campaigns, you can be like, well, we know each other from LinkedIn, blah, 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 and from there move it until perhaps they either tell you, listen, maybe we could become partners, or listen, maybe I can refer you to somebody, or listen, I'm interested, can you tell me more because I may be a prospective client.
So the people who are brand new to email often don't understand they can't send those emails from their Gmail account.
Correct.
So they need an email service provider. Why don't you talk about what the benefit is of having that?
Absolutely. Well, you and I know as marketing experts that branding brings first awareness, and we talked first about that A for attract or be aware. And you know, just think about it. If you are going to someone that says they have the most wonderful product to save you time and money, and then they say, yeah, you can locate me at Evie at Yahoo, at Hotmail. First of all, from a branding perspective, it doesn't look very professional. So from a branding perspective, we always like to tell people, let's not use Gmail. And not that there's anything wrong. I have a Gmail account, and that's the one that we use to communicate a score. But I have Evie at Zoom because I bought my domain. Number one, for branding purposes, it looks like I'm more reputable, I'm serious about my business, and it's a branding issue. Secondly, there is a difference between email communication and email marketing. So we said that with email marketing, you have a strategy. There's a reason. You start here, you go here. We call it in old traditional funnel, the funnel, how you move people from a what I call suspect to prospect to lead to customer to client, loyal client for life. And so there is a difference because with Gmail, you can send, like you and I, we're in school, we know each other. I can tell you, yeah, let's meet for lunch, let's have a bow, let's have a mastermind, let's discuss things, which, yeah, we should do. But, you know, if I was thinking, hey, listen, I know this CPA on LinkedIn, and he sees my picture, sees that, you know, I am the email marketing queen, so sees the crown and says, what is this about? But this CPA, woman or man, may not know me. I need to develop a relationship. I always like to say it's like when we were back to dating. I'm no longer dating. Imagine if I go on a date and I immediately say, oh my God, you're the guy of my dreams. You're going to marry me, right? So it's a turnoff to the guy. He might think, hey, you know, something's wrong with this one. So it's the same thing. When we meet somebody in person, through networking, in social media, we can't say, hey, listen, I noticed, I went to your website sucks. And so now you need my services because they're going to be like, what? Who do you think you are? They're not going to be responsive. So we need to develop a strategy. And then that's why I like the email marketing automation because you can walk them slowly and slowly be courting them.
Yes.
So we call this the Zoom in inbound marketing process, which is slightly different from the traditional sales funnel because although I never had kids, I like to say that we like to nurture people through
I
the
like
process.
that word, nurture's good.
Yes.
So do you, you know, I use MailChimp, I've used Constant Contact. In terms of what service should they be creating their email databases in and their templates for their branding?
Absolutely. So I'm glad you said that. So there are several, and like I said, email communication like Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail is different from a email marketing campaign platform such as Constant Contact, MailChimp, and there are many. I've been known since 2008 to use Constant Contact. The Score is a partner, but I work with many, many others. And some of the things that I tell people to look for, actually I'm going to narrow it down to 3. Number one, for our small business owners, they should have some type of trial that, you know, they can try it in 30 days. If they don't like it, they should be able to say, you know what, it didn't work for me, or worse yet, I didn't even use it, give me my money back. and that money should be refunded, so you should have at least 30 days where you could try it, and if for any reason you didn't use it, you can get your money
I
back.
think most of them have that.
Yes. Secondly, I appreciate a live person. It's funny, I'm a digital person, but I'm not a texter, and I appreciate having a phone number, calling someone, and having someone that I can understand on the other line explaining to me and helping me. So that's one of the things that I like. I like that human touch. I like someone to be available for customer service. And lastly, you should have different options, different packages, depending on where you are in terms of how big your company is, what your budget is, and what your needs are. Because some of them have only email, and some of them now have expanded where you could have a CRM, you could have a landing page, you could do surveys. So there's an array of things that you can do.
And it differs by price.
And it differs by price, of
So
course.
I've talked to people who went out and got Infusionsoft. You know, when they're just starting their business, you're not ready for Infusionsoft. Get MailChimp or Constant Contact, or iContact, is it one of them? iContact.
Yes.
Is one of them. So
There
get
are
one of the
many
basic
them.
ones.
Yes,
But
that's they'll tell people the same thing.
Yeah.
Plus, they're more complicated, actually.
They are very complicated, and then they're less likely to use it.
Yes.
Okay, so since we want to keep this short, as quickly as possible, can you tell me, because this is what everybody wants to know, when should I send it out?
It's funny, everybody asks this. If I'm talking specifically to Constant Contact users, which is the platform I use the most, but all the platforms have it, just like Google Analytics, now all these email marketing platforms give you analytics. So at the end of the day, what I tell people is this: number one, when you start email marketing, you should have a welcome email. And in that welcome email, one of the basic questions you should ask is, listen, would you like to receive emails from me once a week, once a month? The reports, the analytics, you have to see how are people opening. Are they opening on mobile or on a laptop? Or when you send Monday, are clicked on Tuesday. So start looking at that. I mean, generally, we used to say Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know, that used to be the day. But today, what I tell people is that really your clientele, you got to look and analyze. For example, I deal with a lot of small business owners here, and what I discover is that a lot of them like it when I send it on Fridays because they got the weekend, and most of us work all the time, so they are more relaxed. So sometimes I get them telling me, you know what, I like it because I have the whole weekend, and you know, I can look, go back if I have questions. But it depends, because if you're working with a lot of people that work at a regular 9 to 5, you can't send them over the weekend.
Yeah. And that's why I think experimenting, everything about digital marketing today is about experimenting, because we cannot talk to what is best for your market audience. But when you have a list, you can do half the list on Monday and do half the list on Wednesday and see what percentage of opens you have. And then you will figure out what works for your target audience. So there's lots of techniques.
And I'm glad you said that, because actually now more and more email marketing platforms have A/B testing.
Right.
I mean, I work with Constant Contact mostly, and they just released it. A lot of the customers are on beta. Now you can do A/B testing. So for example, you're targeting women, but maybe some women are very professional in an office that work very professional attire, and maybe you have small business owners who dress a little bit more casual. You can send the same offer, but perhaps you may choose to slightly change the words, the time that you're sending the campaign, and now you can actually test it with A/B testing right within it, and the platform will do it for you. So that makes it easy. The last point on something you said that I like to make, and I cannot enforce enough, if you want to improve your open rate and click-through, you have to segment, segment, segment. No email blast. You don't shoot everybody with one bullet. Segment. I promise you, try it. When you start segmenting, and the more you segment, the better. I get a lot of marketers who come to my workshops and get mad at me because I show my open rates that are up to 60%, my click-through rate up to 50%. And they say, how did you get that? I said, well, guess what? I didn't send it to my entire list of 4,000. I send it to this particular list because they actually been to a similar workshop, and this is who I send it. Yes, it's a lot smaller list than the whole list, but I get better response. So remember that, because that's very important.
Right. And I think what you were talking about in there also is important for us to emphasize, that they have to be providing valuable content to that audience. If you're doing sales emails, you're just gonna be blocked. People don't want it.
You know, it happens to me all the time. People come to the workshop and say, can I email you so you could check out what I did as an email? And I, of course, tell them, of course. I had a guy who started sending me emails, and for 4 weeks, every week, he sent me the same email. He created this beautiful graphic, or he had a graphic designer, and it was like something he would put in a magazine. I think he used it for a magazine, of a coupon, of a discount, and no words, no nothing, just that beautiful. And I called him and I said, hey, I told you, but now I know why people are unsubscribing. Number one, you're sending the same things every week, and all you're doing is telling them buy. You're
Which is
not offering any
irritating.
value.
It's very irritating.
So I was the first one that
Right.
told them, if you're going to send that, I'm sorry, you'll have to unsubscribe me. And I felt bad.
Yeah. Well, I think we need to have you come back a second time, but before we do, if you just give a minute on the subject line.
I will, and then you're going to have to ask me about why am I holding all these bunches
Okay.
of dollars here. Subject lines are very, very, very important. People ask me this all the time, and I always tell them my funniest story, which is my best subject line has been the most annoying, has had both positive and negative, and that is, are we still on for lunch? Believe it or not,
Wow,
because
that's
I
a
do
good
a lot
one.
of lunch and learns. So I have had people call me and says, oh my God, Evie, did we have a lunch meeting? Were we meeting? And sometimes, and I know, and I've had people say, Evie, I don't have a lunch with you, me. Why are you sending this? Don't get upset. But back to subject lines. Even like right now, I'll give you one for the holidays, something that I have found that I've done with all my clients. For some reason, there are a few key words that help with subject lines. During the holidays, especially Thanksgiving, putting in your subject line the word thank you. I've done it for my email marketing campaigns, as some of my clients, always increases the click-through rate. And then the word video and including a video. And I challenge all of our viewers to try this, test drive, prove me wrong. Put the word, check out my 60-second video. And put a video. A, they're going to open it, and B, you're going to get higher click-throughs.
I love that advice. I look forward to you coming back again, but tell us about the dollars.
So last but not least, I have a stack of dollars. And the reason for that is because I wanted to remind you. Everybody says, oh, it's email marketing dead. It's far from dead. Actually, the more that you leverage email marketing with Facebook and LinkedIn, you're going to get greater results. And I want to remind you that for every dollar that you invest, you can expect to receive, depending on the study, because there's been many studies done, anywhere from $38 to $44 return on investment. And I want people to remember that. So how does that happen? Of course, you have to have a strategy.
Right.
You have to have a strategy. You have to segment. You have to have good subject lines. You have to offer value. And you have to track. And then you're going to see greater results. Once again, we don't have an actual SCORE workshop coming up right immediately. I actually do, but it's in another SCORE chapter. But, you know, people are welcome to visit our website, zoomin.com. It's a little hard for people to say, so I'll spell it. XOOM as in marketing. IM stands for inbound marketing. So it's zoomin.com. And if people have questions, or if they want me to audit their email, send me one to evie@zoomin.com. I'll audit one email
What a great
marketing
offer.
campaign.
You should definitely take advantage of that. And if you want to learn the schedule for all the upcoming workshops for SCORE, you would go to broward.score.org. And look forward to seeing you again on another Wednesday for Know the Score. Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you, Patricia, behind the camera that you don't see. Another SCORE counselor available for all of our audience.
Correct.